Hi, my name is Dali Miles Lutuli. You are here at my launch for Bubbles. How are you guys feeling tonight? Good. Okay, this is actually a better turnout than I thought would happen. So we're gonna go through a couple of poems. Just want to thank you guys for coming. You guys ready? Yeah. So we decided to go a bit lighter for this session. The first poem I'll be doing is called Dear Violet. Dear Violet, I still daydream about you. I can still smell your sweet laughter. I can still hear you tiptoeing around at 2 a.m. in the morning to remind me to cradle my most dearest thoughts. You are my favorite lullaby, an amber light at this end of this tempest-filled heart of mine. Your grandfather never got to see his son rise, nor did he see his son set, a new tradition by being a main factor in your life, ensuring that you would never ever live your life in fractions. We tap danced into a salsa conversation about how your mother and I decided to plant a seed, and we melted every time we thought of it blossoming. You tried to reach for her heart, but her internal system was unable to catch you, and you sunk like the Titanic. You left an iceberg where our hearts used to be. Dear Violet, I had started knitting beanies and socks to protect you from the external forces. You are my favorite umbilical cord that I could never cut. This poem is a message to mourn the life that we could never live. I still buy violet seeds on Valentine's Day just to watch them blossom. I still buy violet seeds on Valentine's Day just to watch them blossom. The next poem we're going to do is called I Left My Wallet at Home. Have you ever been on a date with someone who orders the most expensive item on the menu? When they think a cute smile and dimples will get them a discount, their order sounds something like, I'll have a T-bone steak with caviar on the side and champagne, darling. For desserts, they order a Marvel pudding with a thick layer of volcanic custard. But when the bill comes, they start zooming themselves out of this table. They start looking for shade in a restaurant full of lights. They start patting themselves down as if they were their favorite inmates, not realizing that they were the snake that needed to be slaughtered in order to free themselves from this open market. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I think I left my wallet in the car. This usually never happens to me. You get this one, I'll get the next one type of man. I've learned to forgive myself for all the emotional bills that I've put to myself. I learned to leave blank notes by tips that fall on deaf ears. I've learned to start shedding the snake skin of all the former men that I used to be. I've gotten into a habit of leaving my wallet on foreign counters with shady figures that remind me of how we first met. Constantly taking pictures reminiscing of the day we first touched. Laying all these dreams on a pillow with broken hearts left to it. So this was my dedication to single mothers. For all those mothers who, during a time where some of us were born free, And they had to work but also take care of us and all these things, so we barely got to see them type of situation. So I decided to write this poem in honor of for all the women that did that. The poem is called Dance to Forgiveness. Now when I heard the saying, it takes two to tango, no one had specified how long it would last after you have a child. The tango turns into a waltz, a slow, endless dance where your steps will either make or destroy the movement that will define the child. Nowadays, a lot of men disappear after a while, leaving the woman to do a simple two-step, where they can't venture out into new things because of the responsibility they have, causing the movement to decline. Yes, after you left, the word parents to me became a singularity, as I watched my mom carry out all the responsibilities of a day job and looking after me. As she let me sit on her lap, she didn't know that I could feel her weak fibula. It could barely hold up her own body, as she was forced to keep working for two, so she decided to ship me off to an aunt, to hide me from the sight of her working so hard that she wrote all her briefs with her blood and sweat, having restless nights, because she loved the sound of my symphony. And even though she couldn't always be there to watch, the melody that was created by my smile, her heart kept me company, and I felt it ache every time she wasn't able to comfort me or reward me when I achieved the unthinkable, because she had taught me that nothing was impossible if you put work into it. I imagine this is what went through her mind every time we were apart. Now I'm going to try my mother's voice. If I could only go see him, but I need to ensure stability. Therefore, there's no need for sleep or time to enjoy what I do. And I would love to chase my dreams, but he needs to eat. So I'll have to put that on hold because my job has me beat. She gave me something that parents have forgotten about in her time. Whether it was her watching me do my homework or letting me sleep in her bed after I thought I'd seen the Hulk, smashing my room apart. She also made sure to make me a promise to take me to Milky Lane whenever I got a good grade, because it wasn't the dessert that made those moments special, even though it helped, but the fact that she took time out of her schedule to be with me. While Daddy was never around to teach me how to play soccer because he had another offspring to raise, and another, and another. He thought the financial aid was good enough to replace the neglect that took place only after a number of years. He would pop in like a pop-up, trying to grab my attention, and every time I accepted, I forgot to read the fine print that said, this deal only lasts for 20 days. After 4 psychologists and a few attempts at trying to cut myself to pieces later, there was only one reason I stayed, and that was because of my mother's smile. She carried me for 9 months, and I plan to carry her until she is no more. So I'll be doing this for eternity, because even though her body won't be active, she will live in me and be as pure as anything in the world could be. Okay, you can read the rest in the book because I can see her crying, and let's just know that. We're gonna end it off on a like a woo note, yeah? Yeah? Okay, so I'm gonna read the last poem because it's a woo type of thing. Atom. When did we turn into atoms? With an unstable nucleus, a ticking time bomb, with internal landmines filled up with insecurities. We have become hand grenades, being held together with a shaky pin of faith. We have raised our children and our sons to have trouble tattooed on their palms. They constantly grow up as constant trigger warnings to every woman who has seen us explode. Atoms. When did we label our wives and women as crime scenes waiting to happen? We have lost our backbones. We have started shape-shifting into snakes. We have labeled our two fists as the forbidden fruits. And the rest you can read in the book. And my final piece, a lighter note, it's called Natural Beauty. Ubuhle bemvelo. The day we met, a baby caught your attention. My nerves ran like castor oil dripping from the waterfalls of my beating heart. Our first destination was Hell's Kitchen. The passion that overflowed created a steam that sparked my eyes to lay dead wood of previously broken fairy tales in a fireplace of a frozen heart, waiting for your touch to ignite the flames. It didn't happen like that at first. She tried to stab me with a bata knife. I assumed she was trying to smooth out my edges or spread her love across my chest. Instead, she grazed the air between us, allowed me to twist her view to see the rest of her thoughts, and her view was amazing. I decided to hold her like a fresh folded envelope, trying to find the right letters to ensure that I may be the only male she keeps by her bedside table. Her smile had sealed the light to spark the flames. It took me on a trip of unwritten fairy tales. She became a muse for my breath, a love poem that was constantly recited when she left my arms, a fighter who seemed to place her armor aside. Her royalty bloomed, a temple of misplaced love that people turned into an amusement park. A heart that had embedded in its gold, which ate from the grace of her 28 most beautiful flaws, constantly grounded by a humor that was as melanin rich as her skin, a personality that was evergreen, defying every season. Poetry kept thinking out loud and she was the reason. Imperfect perfection and unsung amagwenya. My favorite mess. We danced in the dark of my my English just left. We danced in the dark of my imagination in each other's arms. I have faith in what I saw. I'd met an angel who was perfect. I didn't deserve it. Ubuhle bemvelo. It's out there. I hope people find the strength to be able to tell their own stories and also the strength to also seek help. So that was the aim, and I hope people channel themselves into that direction.